mystic family. So, have you ever heard the saying, some people believe, that animals don't have souls? I've heard that. But they do. I believe they do. And when you're young and, if you've been brought up to believe in God and went to church, there was always that question in your head, do our pets go to heaven? And I heard a story of a pastor telling a little boy, no, they don't, and making the little boy cry. And I'm like, that's really messed up, especially if the pastor doesn't know the answer. Don't tell the kid the negative. If you don't know, say you don't know. But, that was a question in my mind too when I was younger. And I don't know if it was in any of yours, but I was given confirmation by God that they do. I had a dream that I was in a field, and obviously my focus wasn't on me, it was on the field, because the field was perfect. It was solid color green grass. There was a tree over to one side, I don't know, kind of in the distance a little bit. And the 2 Shetland ponies that I'd grown up with that had passed were standing kind of near the tree and grazing. And the one paint horse that Mom rescued from one of those neglect barns was running, and when Mom had rescued her, she had an abscess in her one foot, and she would basically permanently at our place, she would have a boot on her foot with poultice and whatever on it to keep the swelling and the pain and everything down, because it was so deep that they could not do surgery on it. And eventually the pain, it got too much for her to handle, and we had to put her down. And it was a shame, because she was extremely sweet. But she was running in this field, and there was nothing wrong with her. She was, perfect. And that's pretty much when I knew it was heaven. So I sat down in the grass watching her and watching the ponies, and all of a sudden, all around me were the cats that I had growing up. And unlike in reality, they did not fight. They all made sure they each got a spot near me, and that they didn't fight each other, because anybody that grows up with a decent amount of cats knows they don't all get along. Well, there was no fighting, nothing. They all just came up to me, and I was petting them, and then I woke up. So I knew that was heaven. So I know the answer. Whether anybody else believes it or not, that is totally up to you. Totally up to, whatever you believe. Now, this morning, I woke up from another one. This one was different. This had no animals in it. This was in a building, I guess. I didn't really look at my surroundings very much, but I was in a room with a bunch of people, and I don't even know who I was talking to. I was talking to somebody. And there was kind of a table off to the side a little bit. and a few people were sitting at it and talking, and I noticed Robin Williams sitting there, and I said something about him, and he looked and saw me, and I had told him that one of my dreams, was to meet him in person. And so he got up, and we started just, walking and talking around the place, and, we were best friends. It was just normal, everyday conversations. I don't even remember what it was about, but it was just normal, friendly conversations. And, now, I don't know as far as having clothing in heaven, but the confirmation that it was heaven was that we were in clothing, and I didn't really even think about it. The first thing I realized that it was heaven, I was me, but I had no physical pains like I do every day. No pain in my feet, no pain in my back, nothing. I literally felt nothing, but yet I could move. So, I had no pain. But apparently we were clothes, but that was a dream, so, may not be that way. I heard we have, heavenly bodies and they're different. But we went to a place where there was clothes, and, he wanted to switch shirts from the one he was wearing. And, you could just pick from whatever clothes. And this was, it was I guess they were, universal sizes, and I was I always went for men's shirts anyway, which, I'm wearing one now, because they're longer. Women's shirts are usually too short, and it's kind of annoying, especially when you're working, they ride up. And I realized that, the shirts were extremely loose and comfortable. There was no discomfort at all. And so he goes to one end and he picks one out, and I'm waiting for him. And then he asked if I wanted one, and I was I was eyeballing ones that were hanging up high and I couldn't get to, but he got up and got me one, the size that I wanted. And it was one of those things where there was no shame either. I had no bra. I realized I had no bra, and I'm but then it didn't matter. It didn't matter at all. And it was one of those things, I don't know if anybody's ever done this where the in public switch shirts where you put the other one over top and then pull the other one up through. But it was kind of like that. And then I woke up and I was like, wow. That ending was a little weird, but I mean, hey, obviously if you're in heaven, there's no skill involved to it. It's just a quick, easy thing. But there's no shame, because I realized oh, I have no bra. There's no discomfort, but it doesn't matter. It was very interesting, but I was all right, I know that's heaven then. There's no other explanation. There's no other explanation for it. So, hope you guys enjoyed this. These were my glimpses of heaven. If I have another one, don't worry, I'll let you know. And I didn't think I'd ever have another one. After the pet one, I was okay, that's a confirmation. I needed that. And it was all a matter of having the right moment of, all right, I need to share this with people. Because I've shared it with, friends and family, and that's kind of about it. It's never going beyond that. But now you guys know. And now that I've had another one, like I said, I don't know about the clothing thing. That was just, I guess that was just a confirmation, just the cat's not fighting, and everything was perfect. I mean, our perception of heaven, I don't think we could ever perceive it in our own minds, and we won't know until we get there, when we get there. So I hope that comes true, that he is in heaven and that I will get to see him there and give him a hug, because I wanted to meet him more than any other actor. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Mark Hamill and all, but there's just that thing, there's just that something about Robin Williams, I guess, because his going through mental illness and then reading his quotes about it. I'm going through sometimes the exact same thing. So now I have that deeper connection, and I hope I'm not the only one. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. Hope you enjoyed this, and let me know what you think. And if you've had any dreams like this too, because I'm really curious if anybody else has had one.